Welcome back, everybody. This is the afternoon version of Rich Barkston, January 24th on Saturday. The dogs are still here, Henry and Hawkeye, cooking an artichoke on the stove. Um, Henry likes to be petted. You can see his tail wagging. Um, but this morning I was wearing a shirt that said Shriner Beer. Well, just by the way, I have Donald Trump syndrome. I am on blood thinners too, and this is from the dogs jumping up on me. And Henry looked at me with a guilty look right now. Golden Rams, by the way, tomorrow. Good luck. That's going to be a tough game. But I was wearing a shirt that said Shriner. And Shriner Beer, it was a brewery in Texas. I went to Austin. We went to Schulenburg in August for the St. Mary's High Hill Feast in Schulenburg, Texas. What a town. That's where my mom grew up. She was born and raised. That's when my father and mom were both married at St. Mary's Catholic Church. We went to the High Hill Feast. It was on Sunday before Labor Day. It was a kick in the butt, great food, and music, auctions, everything. But Shriner, on the itinerary we went to Shriner Brewery up in Shriner, Texas, and I think that's the name of it. And we to do the tour, we paid, and they gave us like this gift package, and they gave us like a 6-pack or a 4-pack of Shiner Bock, beer, which I don't drink. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I will have non-alcoholic beer, and they had probably the best non-alcoholic beer I've ever tasted. It tastes like champagne, and they don't sell it in California. But anyway, getting back to part of the gift package was a 4-pack of Bock beer. So the day after the High Hill Feast at St. Mary's Church, there's a cemetery in the back. That's where my grandfather and my grandma had buried. And so I took the Shiner Bock beer to the cemetery and said hello to Grandma and Grandpa. And I put the 4-pack of beer on right next to Grandpa's side of the grave. and I had one of the Shriner non-alcoholic beers, and I told Grandpa, I said, as a young kid, I never had the chance to have a beer with you because I wasn't of age, even though we were sneaking sips of it when we went to go get him a beer. So I had a beer with Grandpa, and I left and I kissed the top of the headstone, and I walked away in tears. You might remember I don't do death well, so it's just that was just a story I thought I'd share with you all. I did have a lot of fun with my daughter and my future son-in-law, and we had an Airbnb, and we rented a truck, and it was just a kick in the butt, And I would love to move to Texas because that's it's wholesome living, Maybe I don't know how else to put it, but quiet and a little 2-horse town, and it was not that 2-horse town, but it's a great place right off I-10 between San Antonio and Houston. If you ever have a chance to visit when you're driving through, or it's about 90 miles south of Austin, and Austin's a great town too, great barbecue. But anyway, I worked today in the garage, and I just got out of the shower because I was dirty and all sawdusty, and I got tired. My back is starting to, so I take a break, and I am working on the chairs, and a lot of work, a lot of sanding, and then I was cleaning up the base of these chairs. It has a crank, or the spring. It's like the chair I'm sitting in here. Well, I'll show you later. But as I'm sanding and wire brushing cleaning everything up, I thought to myself, the paint on the base of the chair, where the turnstile is, the chair was patent pending in 1939. And I'm grinding this, I'm not grinding, but I'm taking a wire brush and brushing off the paint, and I thought to myself, oh shit, I probably should be wearing a mask, but and get this. So I'm thinking about it, it's probably lead paint, but do I put a mask on? No, I want to finish, I'm such an idiot. But anyway, like I said, if I'm willing to pay the price, you can do anything as long as you're willing to pay the price. And this is still a history lesson for my grandkids and all my friends and family. And if some of them don't like it, well, that's not my problem. It's their problem. It's not my business what other people think. That's what one of my first sponsor ever told me. Oh, by the way, I had 4 sponsors, and all of them have passed. Time for a quiet moment. But anyway, God bless. Do something for somebody else for fun and for free because you want to, and with no expectations in return. And keep pedaling that bike and let God do the steering. See you tomorrow. Thanks.